on the mic, yeah, we bring the flame. Thursday nights, it's a vibe, y'all gon' know the name. C. Wells, Jamie G. Jerome, DJ 2. Facts and flavor mix, that's how the crew do. Catch us live, hit that like, don't be shy. Talking SWAC, y'all, with the jokes that fly. We ain't ducking no smoke, see us holding rank. Discussion, sharp enough to make a ship sink. We got stats, we got smack all rolled in one. SWAC talk like the smoke from a loaded gun. Y'all tune in every week, it's a new vibe. Opinions clash like titans, watch the sparks collide. Here for the teams, for the sports, for the jokes you need. Cut through the noise, SWAC Smoke's gonna lead. No fakes, no chill, bring the truth you seek. Every Thursday night, yeah, we running the streak. Catch us live, hit that like, don't be shy. Talking SWAC, y'all, with the jokes that fly. We ain't ducking no smoke, see us holding rank. Discussion, sharp enough to make a ship sink. From the court to the field, we dissect the play. Breaking down the wins and losses of the day. A different crew, but the unity's tight. Facts mixed with the laughs, got you feeling alright.
All right, everybody, what's going on? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? It's Thursday. It's SWAC conference play, pre-day, whatever, how you want to put it. Man, we in the house. I already see we got our first JSU by 50 this week. Prediction at 5:50, at 5:32. Will Wallace made sure he got this in. This comment was made at 5:32. So he really wanted to go ahead and get that in there. So I had to represent for that. Hey, that's punctuality.
Appreciate that, Will. I appreciate that, Will. Being in here early.
That's what I'm talking about, holding it down. But you know how we do, man. We gonna do our thing. It's Thursday. We got a lot of football to talk about, especially coming up this week. And you know, we got a little bit of football to talk about over the weekend. But first and foremost, I gotta salute my brother over here for holding it down with JB last night. He went into the Hornets nest and came out alive. So you got to give him credit for that. And I'm definitely looking forward to y'all game on Saturday. Before we get started, won't you kind of share your thoughts on that whole experience with JB last night?
It was fun, man. I had a good time. You know, JB and I hit it off last year when he came onto the show, and then I met him up in Montgomery when I went there, and I hung out with him for a minute before the game. But and we talked back and forth through text a couple times. But yeah, it was a fun experience. I seen, you know, the Hornet fans, just like all the rest of the other fans, they was getting on my case, you know, asking about the glove, and it was a good experience. I had fun, man. I look forward to going back. I asked him if he gonna invite me to come back on Monday or whenever his next show is.
Won't you do the Bethune show? I don't know if he gonna find nobody to come to
I'm gonna let my wife do that one. I'm gonna let my wife do it.
I might have to throw on maroon and gold shirt and talk about my boy Cam Ransom on the show for him. But anyway, that glove, man, is very popular.
Yeah, it is. I didn't realize it had crossed so far over like that. You know? I might have to bring it back for SWAC play, you know?
Yeah. Mine in a box somewhere. So I might have to, if certain things transpire, I might have to find it. I don't know where it's at, but I might have to dig through some boxes in this house and pull it out. But
I'm collecting, though. I'm a collector this year. I'm going to say that again. I am the SWAC collector. I am collecting this year. I'm going around from SWAC school to SWAC school, and I ain't looking for no stones. I'm collecting. That's right. So when I ask for it, give it up.
So you went from Thanos to the collector. You got
collection. Yeah, I'm the collector, kid.
You got
the collector has all kinds of objects. You know
exactly.
What I mean?
I know. That's why I said that. you might end up with a live Jaguar in there somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, sure. Yep, I'm looking for one. Well, if they got something running around down there in Baton Rouge, I'm trying to bring one back.
We got one at the zoo. If you want to borrow it, the zoo right up the street. Nail
Yeah, but
Akuma,
yeah,
so just but anyway, man, we we gonna go ahead and jump this thing off before we veer this car already off the road before we even get started.
right.
Week 4 action. It was I really don't know who idea was to give 8 teams a week off before conference play, but maybe next year they should stagger that a little bit. I did have a chance to watch bits and pieces of every game Saturday, so that helped out, but there weren't a lot of games that just jumped off the page to me. But we'll run through them real quick, and
Mhm.
if you got anything you want to chime in on them, you can.
Yeah, we
You
can
can
be quick because it
yeah,
wasn't a
because
whole lot.
it really wasn't. But Edward Waters dropped a 35-9 game to Bethune-Cookman. Everybody thought Dooley and Noah Biden was gonna come in there and turn into whatever, but those were that kid was the same kid I seen in the last 2 years.
The
Um,
offense was looking just like Dooley offense.
it was.
Running up the middle, screen left, throw a bomb. Once it's 3rd and 12, just everybody go straight. And I'm gonna throw it far as I can. That's what it was looking like this weekend.
And that's his playbook. And 3 interceptions for them. 4 as a team. Noah Biden threw 3. But Bethune-Cookman had a good game, man. I thought they played, a good game offensively. They look like they might be the final running back. Kamari Robinson, 12 carries, 114 yards, 1 touchdown. Cam Ransom again, solid game, 172, 3 touchdowns. Malik Huggins, I'm high on that dude. He was my Bethune-Cookman breakout player this season, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. So good game for the Wildcats. They needed that. They really needed
Yes,
that
sir.
win.
Yeah.
Alabama A&M 49-7 over Lane. This was a defensive game for A&M. They had 2 safeties and I think a pick 6 or fumble recovered for a touchdown. So their defense scored and forced 7 turnovers in this game. Lane fumbled the ball like 9 times. It was
Wow.
ugly. It was ugly.
Well, that sounds like a get right game for Alabama A&M because their defense seemed like it had been like one of the, like the weaker part of their team, I believe. But that seemed like that was a get everything straight with the defense.
Yeah, I thought their defense stepped up in this game. Offensively, nothing special. They held Quad Brown out, so I think he was a little banged up, but they held him out. Eric Hanley, 205 and 2 touchdowns. So it's still, solid game. Trevante Abner, kid came from Miles as a tight end. Last two weeks, 170 yards and like 2 touchdowns as a tight end. Those them impressive numbers over a 2-week span for a tight end in this league. So
Right.
they playing well right now. And we'll see what they do this week. Grambling had to come from behind again. Trail East Texas A&M 14-0 early, cut into the lead, ended up falling behind again. Ended up winning 31-28. East Texas A&M missed a 42-yard field goal with very little time on the clock. They could have sent the game to overtime, but Grambling was able to survive another game.
Well, that's all you got to do. You can't. It's better to barely win than to barely lose. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Go ahead and lose. You know what I mean?
Like I always say, I take a ugly win over a pretty loss any day, man. So I take that.
I almost won. I shouldn't say barely lose. I almost won. Yeah.
Two touchdowns for T-Set as he continued to kind of find his way in that offense. Defensively, they still kind of doing what they do. Big game for them coming up Saturday. We talk about that. Their opponent had a close game again. Prairie View 27, Northwestern State 24. Prairie View ran the ball for over 300 yards in this game, man. They went nuts. Bingman 180. McDowell 104. I think Carter ran for like 56 or 57 yards. So they ran the ball all up and down on Northwestern State.
Did they even throw the ball at all? How many passes?
They threw it, but not. Let me see what they. I don't think he threw it that much, but they did. They did throw the ball to some degree.
Right.
but they running attack was very potent. Probably could have been an even worse game if they could have kind of they threw the ball 23 times, so that's
Oh,
not
so
as
they
bad.
had the ball a lot then,
Yeah,
boy.
they ran let's see, they ran about 41 times, so they had 64 plays. Northwestern State ran the ball 32 times and they had 21 plays. So yeah, they had the ball the majority of the game. Northwestern State, that team's they're not as bad as I thought, but they still not quite there yet. But this is a good win for Prairie View. You got to win these kind of games, and Thursday, I said these two teams was gonna win, so I'm glad they did because I really didn't want to be wrong.
You had them on your parlay.
No, honestly, no, not this week. I should have. Every everything I picked last week went upside down on me, so I left it alone. I think
Right.
after the afternoon games, I left it alone. But
Right.
that's week 4 in a nutshell, man. Like I said, 4 games,
That's
and 4 SWAC wins. So I take that regardless. But let's look ahead now. Well, I guess it's still looking ahead, even though it's this week. Week 5 action, and we'll start off with let's see where I want to start. Let's go and start with Texas Southern and Valley, man. We're gonna go ahead and I want to save a couple of those games toward the back end. I'm
I
gonna start,
got
huh?
Texas Southern and Valley as my most interesting matchup. To me, that's my most interesting matchup of the weekend.
I think there's a lot of intrigue in this game for me, for different reasons. One, somebody got to win. That's number one. And number two, I think we're gonna find out a little bit more about both of these teams. They're in the same boat, but in a different way. I think Texas Southern could easily at least be 1-2. I mean, because they gave up a late touch, a last second touchdown
Right.
on Prairie, but they could have won that game.
Right.
I don't, like I say, I don't really know where Valley is. Valley, I think coming out of the Southern game, a lot of people look at Valley in a better light than what they are right now. They still have a lot of questions. I think TSU got less questions, and I think Coach Dishman is kind of trying to turn this thing around, like, and get himself right, because I think I don't know if he's feeling external heat, which I doubt, but I think he's feeling internal heat from himself. And so
Right.
I think he's really disappointed with the way things are going. And I really feel like it's a make or break for him personally in this game.
Right. I heard him say that he didn't sign up for this, and somebody called him on it. I want to say that might have been at this week's coach's call, and they asked him what he meant by that, and he said that he didn't sign up to come in, and the coaches not perform. He went all the way down the list. He didn't, he included everybody, about just the whole way the situation is going. That when he came to, this is not what he was expecting it to look like. Basically, is what he said, from what I gathered.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this team last year, they were a play or two away from having an even better record than they did. And this season right now, it's still early, but this season right now, things aren't looking that way. And I think that's the difference between Texas Southern coming into this game and Valley. And Valley don't really have nothing because this Coach Buckley only his 4th game at Valley. So he in that new coach bubble right now. So
Right.
he still got the energy and he's feeling good, even though things ain't really going right. And so I really, like I said, I think TSU win this game, but I really think this game gonna be a high scoring game because I don't know if either one of the defense is gonna be able to stop anybody. So I think statistically it's gonna look good for both teams, but I think TSU win it. I think they win it by like a field goal or so.
Yeah, I picked TSU to win. I ain't gonna go by no points because I really haven't watched them play that much since that first game, the Labor Day Classic or whatever it was, and I haven't seen Valley play at all. So I really don't know what kind of offense they got, but I'm assuming that Texas Southern should win with they the second year coach being there. But if Valley this day, I think they got to see this as a good opportunity for them to get a win.
Yeah, I do think it's a winnable game for them. And I'm not going to count them out because I like Josh Brown, their quarterback. He not necessarily a great passer, at least from what I've seen so far, but he's a guy that can get out of the pocket. You know what I'm saying? When things break down, he can take off. And if you're not playing sound defense, then he can turn a big play, a bad play into a big play. And that could be the difference in a game like this. Valley just don't have a true running game without him. And they got a couple of nice receivers with some speed. They have some pieces, but they still kind of trying to figure it all out. But you never know in a game like this. So,
it's, I want to say the two coaches either coach together or something like that in the USFL or whatever this spring league they call it now. I don't know what they call it, but I think they worked together at some time before in recent years in the past.
Yeah, they real familiar with each other. So
they know each other. They know each other. You know what I mean? As far as coaching, So that's another reason I think it's interesting. Interesting matchup.
Most weeks this game pop up, I'd be like, man, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's first game of SWAC play for Valley, second for TSU. And there's still some intrigue for both teams. It's not that point in the season where you just throwing the towel on them yet. So I think this is a good matchup. And it's the first time these two teams been played since like 2016 or something like that. So might be a little bit later than that. But it's been a long time, so that a matchup that fresh, so you can't beat that. But we'll see. I'm gonna work from the bottom of your list. I'm gonna go from 6 to 1.
Okay.
I won't say them the first two games. I want to say them for last.
Okay.
So I'm sure we're gonna spend more time on them. Grambling against Prairie View in Dallas. This is a game I honestly struggled to pick this game. I think both teams got a good chance in this game, but I think Prairie View, we kind of got a better idea of what they are because they played all FCS teams and FBS teams. Grambling this season, NAIA, FBS, D2, and FCS. So we still don't really know what Grambling is. I mean, I've seen some potential and some flashes from them. I know what T-Set can do. A couple other guys. I know what Trey Bradford can do at running back. They got a couple other good backs. They seem like they want to run the ball more this year. And so, I think they're gonna try to commit to that. And defensively, they still forcing turnovers, but their last two games have been close. So I don't know. And like I said, all Prairie View games except for the Rice game have been close.
And Prairie View, I get them the edge. They seem to be a little more. They seem to be, well, both of them ought to have been battle tested because Grambling been winning close matchups too. But Prairie View has looked more impressive, I should say, winning their close matchup. If that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It took a lot of resolve for them to come from behind at the end to beat Texas Southern that first game of the year, and then this past weekend, the way they won that game with the running game. I think they established that fact that they're going to be a hard team to stop running the ball. But I just feel as though they're a little more grittier at this point than Grambling, but it remains to be seen. So, but I'm gonna pick Prairie View because I like the coach.
Yeah, like I said, you got when you come on here, you kind of earn some stripes. You know what I'm saying? So
He
came on here. When we was like one of his first appearances, and I'm always hold that in a high regard. And he talked his talk from day one. So I think they're starting to kind of come together. They're not quite where they want to be at yet. I thought it would be a team that threw the ball more, but they seem like they want to run it more this season, and they lead in the league in rushing attempts at 150. And Grambling not far behind. They're at 140. So both these teams want to run the football. So I think this is going to be a physical game. I don't know how much the passing attack is gonna play into this game, but I would give Grambling the edge in the passing attack because I think T-Set is a better passer out of all the quarterbacks in the game. But I think Prairie View got the better team, and so I think they are more capable of winning this game no matter how it goes. I won't count out Grambling, but I go with Prairie View in this one.
If T-Set get loose now, he could be the difference maker. If he had one of them games where where he out and running and throwing, if he on, he can be the difference maker.
Yeah, that's one thing I see from him this season that he didn't do as much as Southern, which various reasons. He's a more aggressive runner this season. Last season he would take off. Sometimes he waited till it was there, but now he gone. If he see it, he gone, and he picking up big yardage. So we'll see if that trend, if he continue that trend, or he start to settle in more with his passing. But both teams, like I said, they both want to run the football. They both have done it pretty well this season. So I think it's that. And so on paper, statistically, these two teams are kind of even though their level of competition is different, and I think that's the difference. I think Prairie View is more tested going into week 5 than Grambling, and I think that's the main reason I give Prairie View the edge.
Yeah, like I say, I like the coach, so I'm going with Prairie View. They've been talking about this game in Dallas for a while too.
Oh yeah, they've been. Yeah. It's two games they've been talking. Well, after the TSU game, there's been 2 games they've been talking about. That one and October 18th against Southern. Yeah. So they don't. I think them games that are necessary to get where they're trying to go. Of course, the other games are too, but this game here is a big focus for them. And they got a lot of Dallas dudes on their team, and they're trying to make headway up there. So like I said, I really expect it to be a good physical game. Both teams will run the ball, and I think they're gonna get out there. Next up is Alcorn against Pine Bluff in Memphis, Southern Heritage Classic.
Alcorn got to win this one. They got to win. They got it. They want to be the blue. They got to establish, get their footing back up under them. They got to win this game. They got to. They can't allow UAPB to beat them. That'll hurt them bad. I think that'll put their coach on the hot seat.
I think this is a confidence game for Alcorn because they haven't had a lot go their way this season. I thought they were They kind of seemed like they were turning the corner when they played against Alabama A&M, but of course Mississippi State was the next game, so you can't judge too much off of that. I think Alabama A&M was a more accurate barometer. Offensively, they got one of the best backs in the league, and I think I think it's Davis, the other back. He's solid. They got receivers, and Tolbert hasn't been bad at quarterback. They got Alcorn got the pieces. They just need the confidence. And like you said, this is the game that they have to get. There's no two ways about it. I don't want to sugarcoat it. There's really no two ways about it. They have to win this game. You can't drop this game.
Right.
You just can't.
That's the must win of the weekend for sure.
Yeah, right now it is. For anybody, and to me, it's not even about the conference. It's confidence. If you drop this game, you 0-4, you 0-1 in conference, and you 2 games behind Pine Bluff. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, they probably gonna slide, but you sometimes you just don't know in this league. So you don't want to be behind nobody, and especially not early. You don't want to have to chase early, and you got Prairie View next week. So you have to, you almost have to win this game because you got Prairie View next week, and so
like my man said, like my man in the chat say, Alonzo Hampton, it's a must win for him too. For him to get a SWAC win, he need a SWAC victory.
And he really needs to have some success away from home. It's good to win games at home, but they haven't really competed away from home. And so this is, I hate to call a game in week 5 a do or die game for anybody, but it almost is. I really think that the team that come out on top is, you're gonna be okay, but you still not in a great spot, but you better off than if you lose. And I just think Alcorn got the pieces. A lot of people early in the season been saying, Alcorn been disrespected. Well, it's time for them to kind of show that, and I think they can, and I think they will win this game. Honestly, and that's no disrespect to Pine Bluff. I don't think it's gonna be like some 8-0 game. Pine Bluff, I think they getting BJ Curry back at running back this week. That helps a lot. But they threw 3 interceptions against Lincoln. They moved the ball up and down the field against Lincoln, but they did not finish drives in that game. And that game was ugly. It was like 13-8 at the half or something like that. That's the kind of stuff that catch up with you in other games. And
Right.
so I think Alcorn is still ahead out of the two teams. And it's gonna be interesting to see how this thing go. But I think Alcorn win this game.
Yeah, me too.
Next up, we have Bethune-Cookman hosting Alabama A&M. Both teams coming off of a win over SIAC teams last week. Alabama A&M, like I said, they looking good. They playing good. Still, they still have some questions. I don't think I'm not quite ready to put them in the top portion of the East yet, but I think they got potential. Bethune-Cookman looking a lot better than I thought, but I'm still kind of hesitant because I don't know how much of this is real. A lot of people still putting a lot of emphasis on that fourth quarter against South Carolina State, which I think is, it's impressive that they didn't quit. But, I don't know how much to take away from that. And Edward Waters looked like they were overmatched in that game. So,
Well, Bama A&M can prove if they for real contenders for the SWAC East by going down on the road and winning. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for them to win.
I don't think so either.
But if they go down there and win, then they'll prove, at least in my book, that they are going to be contenders in the East for the East Championship. And they can't afford to lose this game to Bethune and then turn right back around. Well, the Magic City in 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
I think like 3 weeks or so.
Yeah.
It's the end of the month. But
yeah, they got that looking at them too, right? Staring them right in the face. So, and nobody, you don't want to go down with that one loss. Put yourself behind the 8 ball in the first game.
And not only do you not want to lose to Bethune and still have to worry about the Magic City Classic, but you lose to Bethune, you got Jackson State next week. So, you don't want to go into the JSU game coming off of a loss to Bethune.
Right.
And that that I didn't look at the schedule to just now. And this is the definition of a trap game. It's not easy to play in Daytona. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a little sleepy down there. When it ain't that packed in there, it's a little sleepy in there. You done heard all week about
own energy. You got to bring your own energy.
You done heard all week about how your team is this and your team is that. And now you go and play 3 o'clock Eastern time, but early day game. On the road.
Humid.
Yeah. So you really have to be focused, and you can't look to the next game. And it's human nature sometimes to look like, damn, we get past these dudes. We set up a big game next week, and Bethune-Cookman, regardless in SWAC play, they don't get blowed out a lot. I give Bethune that. Oh no,
they're not as bad as you think.
They just bad enough, but they still good enough that if you don't come to play, you find yourself in a 5 overtime game with them. Like they can beat you. And you like that? Huh? You like how I slipped that in there? But it's true.
That.
And I don't want to go back that far, but that's one of the things. They were spent all week. Bethune-Cookman is not a bad team. They're not a bad team. You guys don't believe that till they go on the field and see they got talent. And so this, like I said, this is one of those games that I just think that if you don't come focused, or you think you got it in the bag because you're 3-1, you could go home with an L. So I think this game gonna be closer than than what some people thinking. The last time A&M went down there, Bethune ran the ball all over them. So it can happen. But I still think A&M gonna pull it out though.
Well, I got Bethune winning this game right here. I just feel like the heat, humidity, and I didn't realize that they had the Jackson State coming up next week that they could possibly be looking forward to that. But I just got the feeling that Bethune is gonna win this game. I don't know why, but that's just I got them winning, coming out on top.
And like I said, they you can see the improvement in them. You can see it coming. And like I said, this is a good test for both teams. And it's like, this is one of those games where it's not a put up a shut up type game yet, but it's a good first conference game for both teams. And so, like you said, you have to, these are the kind of games I think that make you a team that can at least be considered a contender, because you have to beat the Bethune-Cookmans and teams like
Right.
that
Right.
before you can ever step to
To
anybody else.
separate yourself from them, you got to beat them to not be part of it.
You got to get out of that jumble, and the best way to get out of that jumble is to beat them and take that step forward, and then you start to attack the bigger pieces of meat. So,
Right.
like I said, I can see Bethune pulling this out. I'm still going A&M, but I think it's going to be a game that I think will come down late. So like I said, I think A&M gonna pull it out, but I think it's gonna be a tight game. It's gonna be this might be an underrated game of the day.
Bama A&M and Bethune.
Yeah.
It could be. It's a sleeper game, like you say, because people taking Bethune, I think, a little light, but and right now everybody's high on A&M, so that's kind of what make it kind of like a little sleeper game, like thinking A&M gonna go down there and just be a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Sam State got a lot of momentum going, so but that's why they play the game.
Oh yeah. And that's like you said last night, we just talk, we're not coaches or players. We can say whatever. So we can look ahead and talk ahead. But
Right.
I'm interested to see how A&M approach this game. But next up is a big game again. Bama State, FAMU. Of course, you and JB hashed this thing all the way out. I'm not gonna make you drag it all out again, but I guess I'll start it off. I think this game in a lot of ways it is gonna be a game that, not score wise, of course, but the way these two teams kind of coming in a little bit remind me of Southern and Bama State. I think FAMU playing a little bit better than they look at times, but they do have some better pieces at quality position. RJ Johnson has been a surprise to me. I think he's getting better week by week. Now he's not where he need to be. I would you can't put him in in the great FAMU quarterback discussion yet, but he's showing it in flashes. And they determined to throw the football. I'm just gonna resign myself to say FAMU just gonna throw the football regardless. Like they act like they don't know they got running backs in their locker room. And they just gonna be a team that throw the ball and they run when they feel like it. But this is a game you have to run the football. You have to. You can't ask your quarterback to go out there and throw it around all game. You need to run the ball to at least keep them honest.
Well, we gotta control the clock. Keep body on the sideline. Offense gotta be more consistent with their plays. When the plays are there, they gotta make the plays. And I ain't talking about just touchdowns and things like that. I'm talking about 3rd and 2s. I'm talking about 3rd and 12, and you get the pass. You got to complete the pass. You can't overthrow him. You can't hit him in the chest and he drop it. you got to complete the play. I use the term like Willie Simmons used to use. They got the strain. They got the strain on the blocks, a little bit longer to hold them blocks. They got the strain on the catch, a little bit longer to secure the ball, and they got the strain in tackling. You know, we can't be trying to knock people down on the ground. We got to go ahead on and wrap up and stop trying to make the spectacular big play, because Bama A&M got some guys can make you miss and go to the house. You know,
Yeah.
I'm impressed with Holt's Claw, the running back. I'm impressed with him. I like him, and it goes without saying. You got to be aware of Andrew Body.
And like I said, coming into the season, I was like, this team is gonna be better offensively, and the defense is gonna take a few weeks to get going. I think they're getting there. They're not quite there yet, but they're getting there. But this is definitely one of those games that you got to tackle, because Bama State gonna put the ball in space. They're gonna put the ball. They're gonna screen you. They're gonna misdirection you. They're gonna hit you deep if you come up. And then you got to worry about the guys running the ball, and you got to worry about the quarterback running the ball. But if you can control that, which is possible, you give yourself a chance. But you can't hurt yourself. Like this. Any game you can't. In any game you can't turn it. You can't turn the ball over. You can't. But certain teams you definitely can't give them extra opportunities. And this is one of those games that if it's third down, they're gonna try to go for it. They're gonna, if it's 4th and 1, they're gonna try to hurry up to the line of scrimmage with that big package. And that did not sound right. They're gonna try to hurry up with that big formation and run the ball.
The rhino elephant formation. Yes. That's what I call it.
They're gonna try to do that. You know what I'm saying? And it bit them in the butt a couple of times against us, because they were trying to hurry up and get it going before we got set. But you can't give them extra opportunities, because their offense is big time, man. It's super pause. But they offense you just can't give them extra chances. And like you said, this is a tackling game. You can't miss tackles. You miss tackle on any of them receivers, it can go distance. You miss tackle on a quarterback, it can go to distance. Running backs, it can go to distance. You have to be able to get guys on the ground. So if you give yourself an opportunity by making the plays that's there, and guys don't try to do more than their job, then I think you got a good chance. I think this game is gonna be a close game again. I think this game is a fourth quarter type of game. But I'm still going with the Hornets. I think right now they smooth sailing a little bit, but strange things happen in Bragg. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Well, I'll say that right now this game has become one of the SWAC's most heated rivalry games between these two teams and fan bases. And even though FAMU has won the past 4 or 5 games that they played, they've all come down to the fourth quarter, like you say, a field goal kick, or interception, or fumble, or whatever the case may be. In that fourth quarter has kind of sealed and formed the outcome of the ball game for FAMU winning lately. So, but Bama State has been right there with the opportunity. If they don't get that fumble or that interception, throw that interception or whatever, they could have won the game. So I don't expect it to be any different this weekend. The difference is this will be our first time seeing Andrew Body, because we were playing. I think it's been 3 different quarterbacks the last 3 seasons that we played. So I'm looking forward to seeing Andrew Body in person. That's another thing, to play. I think he, like I said last night, I think he's gonna go down, if he continue having the season like he having now. He's gonna go down as one of the SWAC greats, and I'll be able to say I saw him playing. You know what I mean? But just keep that on hold for this weekend. This weekend I got FAMU winning it in a close ball game by 3-4 points. Like I say, 31-28. 34-28, something like that in that neighborhood. I think the Bragg experience is going to just be too much. I thought about it today though while I was at work. By it being a 3 o'clock game, I don't know if the student body gonna show up as much as they would if it was that 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock kickoff like we had last week when that sun going down. And God, heaven knows if it rain, it ain't gonna. They
Oh
ain't
yeah.
coming.
If it rains, you can count everybody out. That's one, like, if you ask me, one of the biggest difference between a HBCU game and a PWI game is the rain. If it rain,
They
if it
embrace it.
rain,
They
it's
embrace
gone.
it. We like, oh hell no, I ain't going out there sitting in that rain.
Hey, the first 2 drops, people already looking for where to for
You
where to
hear that?
cover
You
at.
hear that whole the whole
Yeah,
stand up and move. You hear
feel
through the
like, man,
whole stage.
it's just gonna pass over, But and God forbid you have one of the games where it's like off and on raining all game long.
Yeah,
People don't know what to do. But
I'm
I,
I'm gonna just settle in. I'm gonna just settle in. I
hey,
made trips, so I'm gonna enjoy it.
I bring a poncho. I'm good. I ain't
Yeah,
going nowhere. I
yeah.
bring a poncho and hunker down, man. But I was brought up in that when I was little. My mom they didn't leave games when it was raining, so you sit down. I used to wear cowboy boots at the game when I was little. Mom say I be sitting there with the water filling up my boots and just watching the game.
Chucky got on cowboy boots.
That's it, boy. Hey, I've been a cowboy my whole life. But anyway, let's get to this last game, man. So we can take on a couple more of these topics before we get out of here. We got what most people call the Boombox Classic. I'm still old school. I still call it Jackson State Southern. I honestly, man, I don't really have a lot to say about this game. It's all about what Southern. We know what Jackson State is. We know what they are, and we had a guy, how voice his opinions this week, which I don't care about dudes talking in the media. Only concern I have about a guy talking in the media is you better play.
Right.
Let me look at the camera, man. Let me. Darren Morris, you put it out there, man. You said that they not impressive. They don't impress you. Nothing about their defense impress you. I know you're a receiver, and your job is kind of dependent on them dudes who we don't know if they can throw the ball accurately or not. But when that ball come your way, you better catch it. You out of anybody else on the team better. It might be one of them games where we look at it and be like, well, hey, he did his job. You do your job, man. You have to come through. That's it. You're gonna put it out there.
What? I got Jackson State winning until Southern offense show up. That's it in a nutshell for me. But I think that you can, if you can contain Jackson run game and force them to have to throw the ball a little more, be a little more dependent on the pass, then I think Southern will have more of a chance because then they can utilize their pass rush and maybe get some deflections and interceptions and things like that. And all it takes is a pick six or a scoop and score or something like that to swing the momentum. I know it's going to be a pretty frenzy of fans down there. It's going to be a lot of people down there. I pick between that game and FAMU game, it's going to probably be the two games that lead in attendance this weekend.
Oh yeah,
because both teams are kind of close to each other, and it's a good history even with FAMU and Bama State going back before FAMU was in the SWAC. So, but I gotta go with Jackson to win this game until Southern can prove me otherwise. So
I mean, I can't disagree. Like no matter how much I want to, and no matter how much blue and gold I got on, no matter how many, no matter how much money I done spent on Southern tattoos, I'm a realist. I have to until the offense can show me they got a pulse. I can't. it would be like me picking Stump Mitchell to beat Jackson State right now. It's not impossible, man. It is not impossible. I don't want to play that, I don't want to play that role, that cheerleader role. Oh, remember in 1989 we did this and that. I don't want to play that role. But it's not impossible. Nobody's impossible to get beat. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's unbeatable. But to beat somebody, you have to play well yourself. You can't hope and wish that you're gonna win this game. I think
you got to beat them.
You have to play. You have to show up. And
who's going to quarterback? See what else?
Right now, I think my dog is going quarterback because he got about as good a chance of playing quarterback as anybody else. But right now, I have no idea. Graves, I don't even think he knows. As far as I know, I don't think Woods is going to be ready. And like I said, we got a bye week next week. So, if he's not ready, then don't force it.
But they saying y'all gonna have to pass the ball to set up the running attack.
I mean, we're gonna have to be able to throw the ball. We're gonna have to. I said this against Bama State. We have to be able to throw the football. You can't. Everybody in the stadium know you're gonna run. Everybody know that. My mama know that. My mom don't know no X and O's, but my mama knows Southern gonna run the football. That's you ask anybody that come to say what Southern gonna do, they're gonna run the ball. So we have to be able to throw it. Now I don't know, like I say, a lot of people, were kind of impressed with the kid, Ashton Strotho. I think that's his name. Kid showed up 8 days before the start of the season. So how much can you put on him? Some people said he looked pretty good against Fresno, but he came in, score was already 21-0. So we don't really know. McCoy showed flashes at times, but I don't think he can hurt you with his arm, like accurately. But his legs can be a factor.
Just let him run. Let him go on and run that thing. Just straight run.
My thing was, if we running the ball as much as we want, if we run the ball as much as we run, we might well become a wishbone team. You know what I'm saying? Just stack the backfield and run the ball all night. Don't even.
Hope you can get that pop that tight end.
That's it. Hey, y'all watch Army play football? I've been saying it for like 2 years. Let's just play Army football, man. Let's line up, run the football, throw the ball 5 times, and hope we get it. But it's tough to say, man. It's like I feel like at week 5, you have to have some kind of direction at that position. Even if the guy not playing the best, if you got some kind of direction, then you got a chance to build on something. And I don't think we got that direction right now. And this is not the game to throw a dude out there just because he looked okay against Fresno.
Right.
That's gonna be the end. That's gonna be the end all be all. And our offense is gonna determine this entire game. I'm gonna say that. I know that don't sound profound, but our offense our offense is gonna determine the outcome of this game. Because if our defense play well, I ain't saying shut down Jackson State well. I'm just saying play well and get some stops here and there. And Jackson State scored 35 points on offense on their own. Okay. But if our offense turn the ball over, that 35 is gonna turn into 50.
Right.
It is. But
the offense can't get them the short field.
Yeah,
can't get them the pick six or the same, can't get them the easy play to take the pressure off of them. Because believe it or not, it's pressure on Jackson to go in here and win this game, And as long as if Southern can keep it, hang around and keep it close and kind of contain that running game, don't let them just break off them long runs, because that's what they do. They eat you up, and then all of a sudden they pop one. And be 40 yards or whatever the case may be. It may not be a house call, but to get them down there to where they can get down and going on a complete drive on out. I'm just kind of shocked because I haven't, and I don't want to bring his name up, but the receiver from Valley, I thought at this point he was going to be making more of a difference, and I just thought the whole receiving corps was going to be putting up numbers, or just they look like in fall, they were looking like they was gonna be. I mean, in the summer, they looked like they was gonna be unstoppable through the air, but that don't seem to be the case. Or maybe that's just not so much the focus.
Yeah, I think they really just looking to run it. I mean, TC want to run the football and throw it when they can, and so I feel like they just kind of biding their time with that passing game because they really haven't needed it. I think if they need it, I think they can come through with it. But we'll see. So, like I said, we both got JSU. I got one. We got a couple of topics I want to cover real quick before we get out of here. But
Okay.
I want to start off with the number 2 topic that you had because it's something that I don't understand. Day games. If it's one thing Southern, if it's one thing that Southern I think do right, it's not much I give them credit for. We play a lot of evening games early in the season, and then later in the year that we play afternoon games. I'm not a fan of day games in this time of the year. I'm just not. And like you said, you have to hydrate.
They should be in October. Start in the middle of October when at least when the time change. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Because I ain't looking forward to going to the FAMU game at 3:00. Matter of fact, the first thing I'm gonna do when I get up there tomorrow, I'm gonna go buy me one of these straw hats I saw, a FAMU straw hat. I should have got it last weekend, but that's the first thing I'm gonna do. Pull right in town and go get me one. I ain't gonna even get out the car. Let them bring it to the window because it's gonna be hot out there. And tomorrow, Saturday, it's gonna be hot in Tallahassee. Well, and they talking about chance of rain.
Exactly. And if I had if being the main attraction, if being the main attraction mean that I gotta sweat my butt off and risk people next to me passing out, then I'll take being a second act and playing at night. Because obviously, if you look at some of that attendance, obviously the main attraction ain't showing up to them day games. So let's keep it 100.
Hey, Will, when they want to see you on TV, you gotta get on when that TV slot allows you to get on there, bro.
Hey, I'm fine with not being on TV. Y'all, hey, that's less I have to deal with. Because if it's a home game, I'm gonna be at the game anyway. But all I'm saying is I look at so many people numbers and so many people complaining about attendance and they playing their games. So obviously they fans don't want to be there either. So
that's true.
Let's just
it ain't their fans. It ain't their fans. It's the other team.
It's not their fans. That's my bad. That's my bad. It's not their fans. But like I said, I just prefer night games. And I mean, they put me. And besides, we spend all that money on lights. I don't want day games with.
Yeah. Cozy said this weekend that the FAMU games, all of them were supposed to be night games, but then I think HBCU Go and all that stuff got involved, and that's what moved it in. We just got the lights installed and all that stuff. So, but I believe our North Carolina Central game is probably, I think, at 3:00 because I think that's going to be on one of them TVs, one of them channels. Which I don't necessarily like it, but
yeah, I mean that's the nature of the beast. But I just like to
drink me some water in between McCole Stellas. I'm gonna drink me some water in between.
You gotta know how to hydrate. You can't just go crazy.
And can't start too early. You gotta
you can't start at 9 o'clock.
Easy way into it. Yeah. But and don't be scared to go up underneath if you get too hot. Go up underneath.
Go cool down, man.
And I'm gonna sneak me some water in the game. Right? They can scan me all of whatever they want to do. I'm gonna have 3 of my pockets full of 3 bottles of water. Because I'm not gonna risk them running out of water, ice, all that kind of stuff that be happening at some of these games, So I'm doing that. Now they can say what they want to.
Hey, you trying to keep people from drinking water, you got a problem. I'm gonna let you handle this next topic. I'm gonna chime in, but you were saying about charging videographers. I'm gonna let you take the floor on that one.
Oh, I just heard that at the Boombox Classic they charging $500 for the videographers to go down there and video the bands. So I don't know if we're gonna get a complete coverage like we normally get. Even though I think them dudes gonna get it up and get on
Oh,
in
you,
there.
you,
Man,
you know that.
I saw
And
I saw
especially at
Smash Time.
Southern.
He been going live every day till he got his up. So and I appreciate them going and doing that because I'm gonna look forward to seeing that tomorrow. I like I'm a band head at heart, so I like to go and watch the bands. I talk trash about the Boombox Classic. Even though they're gonna be playing, it's gonna sound like they, kind of be trying to outdo each other with my car crash sound better louder than yours. No, it ain't. Your car crash wasn't this loud, so they gonna be blowing siren sounds and spurty great breaks and stuff back and forth with each other. But I like to see it, so I'm hoping that they get there and can show up in video and put it on for the people because I know a lot of people in the country. That's a big thing. That's a big attraction.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they don't deter people from making good content. But everything is a cash grab right now. People trying to make money.
Yeah.
People.
What's that? Oh, they can't go live on Friday. Okay. So I'll catch it on I'm gonna get up Saturday going to the game. I'll probably listen to it on my drive back home, back to Tampa Sunday morning or whatever. I'll catch it then. Or maybe if that sun don't beat me down Saturday night.
I think Friday night tickets might be higher than the game tickets.
Shoot, the attendance gonna be thick. Is that Mumford?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll probably have a light show going and everything. That's gonna be live. Once I retire, I'm gonna make one of them Boombox Classics, man. I'm gonna make one of them games. I got to do that. I want to do that, and I want to do a Bayou Classic too. I gotta do that.
Yeah, like I say, those are good atmospheres, man. Like they're different, but they both, they both got a good thing to them. But it's just something about Southern and Jackson, man. It don't matter what sport they play in. It don't matter.
It exemplifies black college football. Southern and Jackson is like I was saying about FAMU and Bama State. It's everything you want in black college football. It's going to be a competitive football game for the most part in most years. You got two fan bases that are passionate about their football team and their schools and what have you. And then you got the two bands that's going to be going at it. So it's my other question is what time the tailgating gonna start at SU?
Shit. What time is it?
They already out there?
It's probably a couple people up there now, but I know tomorrow afternoon people gonna be making their way up there for sure. This is one of them get there early games. Southern. I say this all the time, but for anybody who ain't really been to Southern for a game, these the games that are like you have to get there early because it's hard to get on their campus, man, when the crowd is there. Southern infrastructure is horrible. So if you don't get on the campus by a certain time, you used to going to games and pulling up, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours for a game. You might want to rethink that one. But I'm
gonna do that, Edwin. I'll let you know.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good weekend, man. I'm looking forward to this. We had to go through week 4 to get to this. So like I said, week 4 wasn't the best. Week 4 was one of the hardest weeks to make it through, but we got a lot of good games this week, and that makes this week even better. That this is a good, strong week of SWAC football to open up conference play, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens.
Oh, Cedric in Memphis, he heading down there tomorrow, he said. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting, man. I can't wait. All the games you know, even like we say, all the way down to Alcorn and UAPB, they mean something by being the first weekend of SWAC play. You know, like we always say, everybody, you start out with an A when you go to
Yeah,
class.
then
So right now, everybody got an A. Now
you work your way down.
now whether you keep that A or not, it's up to you.
and,
You know.
and we passed the add drop mark, so you
Yeah,
you got
yeah,
to
oh
say
yeah.
no.
What you got now? You got it. Yeah, you had them first 4 weeks. You could have added and dropped it, did whatever you was going to do. Now you get whatever you get. You know what I mean? That's exactly right.
You and in a couple weeks is midterm, so we really gonna, like I said, we really gonna find out what everybody got, and what better way to find out than to jump feet first into the fire. And so, like I say, I'm just looking, like, I'm just glad to be able to go watch some football and enjoy some SWAC football. So we'll go ahead and go ahead.
Well, I want Cedric to give me his score prediction. I don't want to hear no by 40 either. I want to hear the real deal. See what he say.
All right, we'll see if he chime in.
He might be gone. He might be gone. But go ahead, Sewell.
Well, like I say, I'm just, I'm just excited. So we'll see what happens. And yeah, hey, this is a 8-game playoff. He said 45-10.
Dang, okay. All right. I'm gonna remember that one, right? I'm gonna write it down on my page. 45-10 something.
and it's funny because the person who's been talking the most noise, Baylor, said the same score I did. He said 38-14. That ain't that bad. It's like, I mean, it's bad, but it ain't that bad. So I guess I'm all right to be on the same same page.
We're gonna see.
But we, like I say, we'll see. So man, like I
We're
say,
going live. We're going live Saturday night.
It depends. No, I think we should, man. I think we should.
Okay. Cause your game is late. Your game is a late game.
Yeah, but I'll be able to get home in time. So
all right.
Like I said, we're gonna make plans to go live.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Cause we haven't done it all season. You know, let's do it.
All right, so y'all join us Saturday, man. Live SWAC Smoke after the game. After the games wrap up. Probably gonna be a therapy session. We ain't had one of them yet this year. So we'll go ahead and kick it off with the first week of SWAC play.
Both of them. Maybe
hey,
one for both of them.
You never know. So we'll see. But yeah, y'all make sure y'all lock in with us, man, next week. And next week, lock in with us on Saturday. So we're gonna go live, and it's gonna be a lot of fun regardless of what happens.
Yeah. Let's see what I can collect from these Hornets. I don't know. I'm see what I can find. I don't know. I've been collecting. I don't know. I didn't show y'all this last week, but we went. Albany State came down there to brag, and I snatched one of their balls from. I was like, "Give me that ball. You ain't taking that. Give me that."
Hey, we're gonna start calling you the brag bully. You just
yeah, give me that damn football, man. Y'all don't know nothing about no football. Give me that. So anyway, that's all I could get from them though. But we're gonna see what I can come up with this weekend.
All right, so we're gonna hey, we'll see what you come up with, and we'll definitely see what kind of collection you got, and we'll be back Saturday, man. We're gonna make it go down Saturday night. Might be a little bit later than normal, depending on what time everything.
We're gonna do 10-15 minutes, you know, and let family win, then we can go along.
Oh, if any miracles occur, there is no time limit to the show.
All right.
All right, y'all, man. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend, man. Everybody be safe, and we'll catch y'all Saturday, man. We up out of here.
Yes, sir.